Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 15 going to present the discussion and solution for the question based on the legal reference. For the question 1, I will summarize that Mas Sendian Berhad has a contract to buy 10 acres of residential land from Sami. Sami regret his hasty decision to sell the land. Now Sami refused to complete the contract. The issue in this question 1 is Sami now refused to complete the contract for the sale of the land on the ground that the price was too low. Is there any contract between Mas company and Sami? Now I'm going to tell about the legal principle about this issue. One of the legal principles in this issue is a proposal. A proposal must be defined, promise to be bound, provide certain specific terms and are accepted. Case that relate with this question is Preston Corporation Sendian Berhad versus Edward Leong and Ors. Next, acceptance. Based on the section 2B, when the person to whom a proposal is made signifies to accept it, then it is said the offer is accepted. In this issue, we also have consideration, which is a price for which one party pays to buy the promise or act of the other. The case relate is Pang Sui Kim versus Beh E Hawk, which if the respondent agreed to sell to the appellant a land for 500 ringgit, also the land was worth much more. In addition, it has intention. Intention is a motion of every contracting party must have the necessary intention to enter into a legally binding contract. We can relate this question with case Edward versus Skyways, which if the agreement is made in the context of business and legally binding. Certainty is a term where a legal requirement of a valid offer to the contract that it must be perceived and defined in order to be subject to acceptance. Contract without certainty is what? Next, the application and conclusion for this issue. In conclusion, Mas Company has a contract with SAMI. A proposal has been made by Mas Sendian Berhad and SAMI has agreed to the offer. As we know, once accepted, it will create a contract. There is the consideration between Mas Company and SAMI because the parties agreed to the exchange. Also, there is an intention under the commercial agreement where SAMI has the intention to sell his land to Mas Sendirian Berhad. If Sami really wants to rebuild the contract, he needs to show clear provision to deny the contract. In addition, in this issue, it also has certainty as the contract between Sami and Mas company is precise and not work. This can be shown when the price and acres have been clearly stated in the proposal. Therefore, the contract is still going. Next I pass to Shaz.
Okay, next question 2 is about a contract with Leong for the rent of an office building. Leong has long been searching for a potential tenant after the pandemic. He was so happy that Mas company proposed to rent out the premise. And the issue is Leong received better deals from other potential tenants and refused to proceed with the grant of the rent to Mas company, claiming that the contract was not valid. Next, I'll discuss the legal principle involved in this issue. The first legal principle involved in the case is proposal. Section 2A of the Contracts Act 1950 states that when one person signifies to another his willingness to do or abstain from doing anything with a view to attaining the essence of that other to the act of abstinence, he is said to make a proposal. The second principle is acceptance. An acceptance is effective only when communicated and it must be communicated to the promisor. Refer to case Holwell Securities versus Hux, 1974. Next is intention. Intention is defined as an intention to enter a legally binding agreement or contract. It is one of the necessary elements in formation of a contract. The case related to this question is Kleinwood Benson versus Malaysian Mining Corporation, 1989. Last but not least, certainty is a term where a legal requirement of a valid offer to contract. It must be precise and definite in order to be subject to acceptance. Contract without certainty is void. In Karupan Chetty versus Suatian, the requirement of certainty was not met when the parties agreed upon the granting of a lease at Rm35 per month for as long as he likes. Next, the application and conclusion for the issue. It is true that the contract is not valid between Musk Company and Leong. This is because there is no legally binding agreement between the two parties. Mas Sendirian Berhad has made a proposal to rent out the premise, but Leong kept silent and refused to proceed with the grant of rent with Mas Company when he received better deals from other potential tenants. There is no acceptance for the proposal. If Leong expressed in some usual and reasonable way the proposal to be accepted, then there will be a contract after a reasonable time, refers to case Feldhaus versus Binley, 1862. However, there is no communication between Mas Sendirian Berhad and Leong because Leong was communicating with other potential tenants. There is an intention under the commercial agreement because the parties intend to contract. Leong was searching for a potential tenant for a long time, and when he finally received a proposal, he expressed his happiness, which clearly showed his intention to create a contract. Even though there is the intention, but there is no acceptance, which means there is no contract because the contract is not valid. That's all from us. Thank you.